As the cliche goes, April showers bring May flowers. But usually what comes after is the heat and dryness of summer. Hello again, Essay here. And before the hot weather of the holiday shows up, you should indulge in my new short story, The White Cat, a free exclusive on Substack. The links are down below in description. Join Margot Thompson, a beautiful stage actress and recent widow who finds salvation in the form of a white cat during a night of terror. While checking out my oddball thriller, remember that my Glitch series is still available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The links are down below in the description. While you'll find my peculiar story about a white pussy entertaining, that doesn't mean I'm out of ideas. I still have more stories coming down the pike, so as long as I don't run into any mishaps, you'll see those stories as well. Now let's get back to the video. Hello again, Essay here. How many of you ever saw It's a Wonderful Life? Well, if you're my age, you've probably seen it more than a few times on the TV. Yeah, in fact, I don't know how many times I saw it, but I think I probably saw it somewhere between 1 and 10 times, somewhere in that area. But of course, if you're one of these damn Zoomers or Gen Alpha types, you probably say, It's a Wonderful what? Yeah, I get it. But it's an old Frank Capra film. And you say, who the hell is Frank Capra? Yeah, well, he's an old Italian director. Actually, Italian-American director, but let's not get into the weeds, okay? And it's listed as one of the top 10 best films ever made, or top 10 best American films ever made. And it's in the Library of Congress. And you say, oh, well, bully. But the thing is, when the film was released back in, I think it was, 1946, 47, I think it was technically a flop. And you say, oh, well, so what? Yeah, but the funny thing is, the film was about this fella, played by Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, George Bailey. Yeah, he basically a collegiate type, sports type. And all he wanted to do was to travel the world and make a name for himself. But then, as Lennon, John, not Vladimir, life is what happened to him when he made under arrangements. And over a series of circumstances, he basically got stuck in his hometown, Bedford Falls, where he took over his father's business. And he worked alongside his uncle. And the story takes place in the early 20th century. Indeed, during the course of the story, it basically tells you pretty much the man's life from childhood up until adulthood. And it goes, I guess, I can't remember, I think it starts sometime, I can't remember, it was right after the First World War and goes all the way through to the end of the Second World War. It's one of those kind of films. But anyway, the crux of the story, the fulcrum of the story is that George Bailey, after he made a life for himself and done well in the community and he in his family business did a whole bunch of swell things for the community, he basically screwed up. And if I remember correctly, I think he lost some money. And you say, so what? Well, this was a serious amount of money. Can't remember how much, but supposedly it was supposed to be put in the bank, but his uncle lost the money. And the money was important. In other words, it had to be in the bank at a certain time. And with the money not there, he was like going to get in trouble and will likely lose his business. And he basically started to, curse his circumstances to the point where he approached the old blue meanie of the story, Mr. Potter. And Mr. Potter, yeah, not a nice guy. In fact, you could say he was the local kingpin of town. But no, not that kind of kingpin. No, not a gangster. Now, he's a local slumlord. But he owned the only bank in town, and he owned most of the property. And when he asked Mr. Potter for a loan, Mr. Potter basically told him to blow it out his ass. And then he felt, oh, great, I'm cooked. So then George Bailey goes to a bridge and he's going to kill himself. But then, just when he tries to drown himself, his guardian angel shows up in the form of Clarence. And then Clarence tells him that your life is not as terrible as you think it is. And then he basically, like a instant replay, he then shows George that he actually had a very wonderful life. In other words, he met a girl, they fell in love, they got married, they had a family. He saved his younger brother from drowning. He saved the local pharmacist from making a terrible mistake and killing a bunch of people with bad medicine. And he took over his father's business when he didn't have to. He could have walked away, but he said, no, I'm going to take over my father's business. And he used that business to build all sorts of homes for people who likely couldn't afford it, especially from the slumlord Mr. Potter. So yeah, George did have a wonderful life. Now, this video is not so much about old Frank Capra film. This video is actually about old Alex Jones. Now, you saying, what the hell does Alex Jones have to do with an old Jimmy Stewart film? I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. But first, that big boy, Jeremy from the Quartering, let's just say this. He's got a little video, and his video reminds me a lot of that old Jimmy Stewart film. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
All Alex Jones. Anybody who stands on their own and has the horrible idea that they might want to question the narrative. If you maybe had hesitation about getting the poke, or maybe you had hesitation about, if the Secret Service is doing a good job protecting President Trump. If you have some questions about maybe there's somebody out there pulling the strings that we don't really know, we're all Alex Jones. And yes, Alex Jones did make a mistake. Many years ago, he made a single mistake in his reporting, and they took everything from him. And who is they? Well, the government, the media, those that are in power. And last night, a judge has authorized the final days of InfoWars, as he is now being forced to sell everything. Now, maybe the richest person in the world, Elon Musk, could buy InfoWars. There's some hope for that. But this is a shocking news. Will this be the end? I don't know. I mean, Alex Jones could start something else, right? The Alex Jones Show, or, he still has a platform on Rumble and things of that nature. But let's get into everything we know right now. For Justin, a judge has ordered the sale of Alex Jones' InfoWars to pay the families whom he had an incorrect theory about. The mainstream media pushes lies every single day. Russiagate, China this, China that, Iran, the Steele dossier that you weren't allowed to look at, WikiLeaks. all this kind of stuff. They've pushed that nonsense on Americans every single day, and not one of them, except for Gawker, which I think is back, has ever suffered anywhere near the financial penalty that was imposed in a sham trial, in my opinion, against Alex Jones of nearly $1.5 billion for a single story that led to a few yahoos making mean Facebook posts. That's I don't think that the families really ever even cared about it. I think somebody else got involved, just like the Tranifesto. I don't think the parents cared one way or another if it got released. But powers that be said, oh no, you've got to copyright this. This is a blueprint. This is dangerous. We've got to hide this. Why? Oh, because it has leftist ideology. To me, it's got a lot of the, mainstream, lamestream rhetoric. That's why they tried to hide it. That's my opinion. And for Alex Jones having an opinion that in one case was incorrect, they took everything from him. I don't know how many employees he has. I'm assuming it's somewhere north of 20 or 30. Dozens of people's livelihoods taken from them because Alex Jones said one thing wrong one time. Remember how he went to war for WMDs? And every mainstream media outlet told you that there were WMDs and that's why we had to go to war? Remember that? How many dead soldiers' parents sued the government for that lie? Actually, I assume some have. But how many newspapers got sued and shut down for perpetuating a lie? 0. And that led to Americans losing their lives in the desert. Okay? This is a single instance of the government just saying, nah, we don't like you. We're going to destroy your business. InfoWars to be liquidated and auctioned off in just 30 days, with U.S. Bankruptcy Court Judge Christopher Lopez stating he will approve the auctions. People say, wouldn't it be funny if Elon Musk showed up, bought InfoWars, and then just gave it back to Alex Jones? Yeah, that would be hilarious. Also, I mean, they can do InfoWars. Alex has not been banned from Rumble. I assume, based on my limited understanding of business law, Alex Jones could simply start, info battles, right? And restart, build again. Alex Jones and people like Owen Schroyer and many others there are InfoWars. It could go by a different name in the future. But the story here is the government getting involved. We've seen the lawfare that they've done to President Trump, obviously, right? We've seen how they move. We've seen what they do. We've seen how, in my opinion, they just let some 20-year-old kid infiltrate Secret Service and get a clear shot at him. We've seen all that. We've seen how they move. We've seen when they want you gone, what they're willing to do. Alex Jones' cameras, mics, InfoWars show and vitamin site. Everything. Everything he owns will now be for sale at auction. Alex Jones' InfoWars show is likely to be shut down within the next few months after a federal bankruptcy judge ruled Tuesday that plans to sell off assets of Jones' media company, Free Speech Systems, can now move forward. Net proceeds from any sales will go to the families who won an insanely ridiculous amount of money, $1.5 billion, because a few people, went to their Facebook pages and gave them a hard time. Look, Alex Jones did not tell those people to do that. Okay? If you want to sue anybody, you sue the people who are harassing you or breaking the law. They chose Alex Jones. They sued Alex Jones because someone told them to. Some lawyer backed by some shady individuals, in my opinion, told these families to sue Alex Jones, and a corrupt judge of the highest order enforced a ridiculous financial penalty. You want to sue Alex Jones for getting a story wrong? Fine, but $1.5 billion? A number that in a million years he couldn't have paid off anyway? This was not about giving the families some clear some closure, some fair play, because Alex Jones was wrong about something and people took his opinion and went and did crazy things. What about like this guy from Ryan Routh? Is the mainstream media going to be held responsible for him? No. Is the mainstream media held responsible for Thomas Matthew Crooks and what he did? No. Both of them clearly were on the mainstream media teat, though, consuming that Trump was dangerous, a danger to this country, and must be eliminated, and all this kind of stuff. Those individuals will be held individually responsible, as they should be. Some of Jones' followers harass and threaten the families, quote, for years. I don't know if that's any evidence. If there's no evidence, I assume that they showed something in court. But let's say that's true. Again, those people are the ones that broke the law, not Alex. He didn't tell people to harass them. He didn't tell them to go to their Facebook pages or show up at their houses or whatever they may have done. Free speech system will now be sold at auction, meaning Alex Jones will no longer own or control the company that he built. This brings the family closer to their goal of holding him accountable for the harm that he's caused. He's not the one that walked into that school and did that stuff. He's not. So I don't understand I don't understand why these people have any issue with him. I would love to talk to one of them and ask them how many billions of dollars will bring. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying that one news outlet has ever been toppled like this, and it's Alex Jones. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC spread lies every single day. Although Fox did get that Dominion lawsuit. That's true about that. That's fair. It wasn't 1.5 billion, was it? You know, it wasn't 1.5 billion. The bankruptcy trustee said in court that several parties have already expressed interest in buying their assets, including specifically Jones's X account. So they're going to sell his X account. So he's going to lose that. The sale and proceeds with sealed bids, and then open auctions are set for November 13th and December 10th if needed. The bidders are unknown, and it could be from another vitamin and supplement seller to an entity trying to catch and destroy the InfoWars brand, or for someone that wants it to live on. In fact, there's been interest in Jones' intellectual property assets, including his social media accounts, which might mean the latter is more likely. Would suggest to me that the highest monetary bidders are going to be entities in the United States that want to take the brand and run with it in some way. University of Florida bankruptcy law professor Chris Hampson says. That would mean someone in the right-wing media ecosystem that would have a ready-made audience for them. Legally, Jones would be free to continue working for the new entity, but talks are continuing between Jones and team and some of the families seeking a deal that would bar him from continuing to speak about that event. Fine. You know, you shouldn't be able to control your speech. That's a violation of his First Amendment rights. I'll worry about that after the election. You know, we'll worry about that after the election. So essentially, best case scenario here is somebody like Elon Musk comes in, buys InfoWars, makes Alex Jones the CEO, and walks away. You know, Alex would no longer own the company he spent his life building, but InfoWars would be relatively untouched. You see Owen Schroyer commenting on it. I recommend checking out his video about it.
All right, guys. Was not an easy thing to do, and there weren't really platforms out there that would host a guy like me or eventually give me a show and allow me to create my own content in the way that I see fit. But InfoWars did. And it's now total confirmation that I made the right decision. And let me tell you, it was a decision that came with a lot of consequences. Some obvious. I was put in prison. I've been sued multiple times. I've been attacked. I've been assaulted. I've been censored across the internet.
I mean, all of these people are loyal to Alex. Alex is always welcome on my show. Anytime he wants to come on, any one of the InfoWars hosts are welcome on my show anytime they want to come on. And what the judicial system has done here is selectively silenced, shut down a news outlet that they didn't like.
Okay, you saw that. Now, of course, for those of you who actually saw It's a Wonderful Life, and of course saw that Big Boy's video about old Alex Jones, you would say, yeah, I kind of see the dichotomy between their situation. Yeah. Now, of course, in the case of George Bailey, he wasn't sued so much, but he was in the hole for a lot of money. Not as much as Alex Jones. I mean, a few $1,000s in the early 20th century was a lot of money compared to, I think it was, what, $1 billion? I think Alex Jones owes through that miserable court judgment against him. And of course, Alex, now you can love him, you can love Alex or hate him. Hey, it's cool. But a lot of people in independent news media think that Alex Jones, he was more good than bad. Yeah, he made a mistake, like George Bailey, and looks like he's going to lose it all. But the funny thing is, like George Bailey, Alex, he had a lot of enemies. And you say, wait, what? Yeah, because as I said earlier, George Bailey, his number one antagonist was Mr. Potter. Because Mr. Potter, like I said, he owned the only bank, and he owned most of the property in that sleepy town of George Bailey's. And it was Mr. Potter who made that money disappear. Now, of course, you probably say, "No, I'm giving away giving away the plot of the story." Yeah, I know, but it's an old film, so old farts like me already saw it. So we're not giving away anything. But in the case of Alex Jones, in his case, who was Mr. Potter and his tale of woe? I don't rightly know. Because there was a lot of people who really didn't like Alex. Yeah, because anyone who was paying attention knows that Alex, he had been around for a long time. I think he started InfoWars back in the 90s. And we're talking like pre-internet 90s. Because, Alex, he's not a young man. Alex, I think he's older than I am. He may not look it, but yeah, he's not a young guy. But it was social media that really, blew Alex Jones up. Because I think Alex Jones, I think he had a newsletter before he had his regular, his video channel, InfoWars. And even though they tried to shut him down, I mean, anyone who remembers what happened about a decade ago, when clips of Alex Jones's InfoWars show were all over social media. We're talking Facebook, talking YouTube, Instagram, and all the rest. And he got kicked off of all of them all at once. Yeah, that probably wasn't a coincidence. There was collusion. And of course, you say, why those people colluded to get rid of him? That's a very good question. But most people figured the reason why was because Alex Jones, confronted, I can't remember that guy's name now. He used to work for CNN. Real scumbag, too. Because I remember that Big Boy, Jerome from the Quarrying, said that clown was responsible for one of the first ad apocalypse. Gosh, I wish I could remember that guy's name, because he used to be on Little Brian Stelter's show, the one that he had before, and he was like a regular contributor on that show. But yeah, this guy was a real scumbag. And according to the history books, Alex Jones confronted him in the halls of the Capitol Hill. He was there for some reason, and Alex Jones confronted him on camera. Basically called him a scumbag to his face. because he said that Alex Jones said that the guy, he comes on regular TV all the time lying about everything. And according to a lot of people, including Tim Pool, this clown whose name I can't remember was correct. This guy who was a regular contributor to the Brian Stelter's show, he was a bit of a scumbag. He had a really good habit of just lying about everything. And Alex Jones confronted him. And for that, Alex Jones got kicked off of social media. But Alex Jones, being well established, he still had his own regular, InfoWars website. So he was still making his videos. And the clips were ending up on YouTube and other social media sites anyway. So then, as you saw in that video, apparently they came after him again to basically shut him down and shut him up for good over that Sandy Hook mess. And I will concede, Alex Jones, he basically stepped in it and bagged up by claiming that those people's kids weren't really dead and it was all basically a setup. And I'm thinking, why would he say something like that? I don't really know. Maybe he was drunk that week. But yeah. And these damn people, these bad people, these Mr. Potter types, they basically used it as a fulcrum to go after Alex. And they were successful. They found a compliant judge and a compliant jury. And they basically put the screws to old Alex. And now he's losing everything. But as you saw in Jeremy's video, maybe Alex Jones also has a guardian angel. Maybe his name not Clarence. Maybe his name is Elon Musk. And they're suggesting that maybe, just maybe, Alex's guardian angel might bail him out. And you say, what, pay off that $1 billion judgment? Well, I don't know about that. But anything's possible. Now, of course, anyone who actually saw It's a Wonderful Life knows how it all turned out well for George Bailey. The damn people in the community basically came to his rescue, and he didn't lose his business. In fact, if I remember correctly, the last part of the film, the story took place during Christmas time, and one of the gifts that was waiting for old George Bailey underneath the Christmas tree was a copy of Tom Sawyer, and inside was a gift from his guardian angel. And in the book, the guardian angel wrote, "No man is a failure who has friends." And I'm thinking, yeah, as long as your friends are not good time buddies, because you have friends who are really good friends and you have good time buddies, which I'm not going to get into. And his friends basically bailed out old George. And I think that Alex, he probably has a whole bunch of friends too. And will they bail him out? Well, we're going to find out if they're going to put up or shut up. Because I remember my mom once told me that you only know who your friends really are when you're in dire straits. And I agree. Because I remember she told my brother that. Yeah, she told Larry a long time ago when he was a much younger man. She told him that those people you're hanging out with are not your real friends. They're your good time buddies. They're hanging out with you as long as the liquor and the money and the women are around. But when you run out of booze and run out of money and the women go away, you ain't gonna see those people no more. And she told him that your true friends will stick with you through thick and thin. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's true. And I think Alex is going to find out, just like George Bailey, who his friends really are. And for old Alex's sake, let's hope he has lots and lots of friends with deep pockets. Well, that's all I gotta say for Alex Jones and his situation. And that's my opinion.